speaker will talk about something which concerns us all. It's about mobility, because we're struck every day in a field somewhere between Antwerp, Brussels and other regions. And it's my pleasure to introduce Joost Vantomme. I know him for about 25 years. He was the lawyer at a well-known company in Belgium, Talindus, long ago. And then he went, of course, to Proximus, responsible for legal and regulatory. The same experience he used at bpost later on when the liberalization was coming in, where he worked until September 2013. I will not name all his positions because it would ease his time. But now Joost is the Smart Mobility Director at ACEA, the Automobile Manufacturers Association. Joost.
Thank you, Luc. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for being there and thanks for still being there. I know I'm the third speaker in the row before the dessert. It's not easy, no? Dus dank u voor de organisatie en merci pour m'avoir invité. Wij zijn ACEA. ACEA is the European Manufacturers, Automobile Manufacturers Association. So I'll do it in English. That's my daily job. So we're actually representing the manufacturers. So we're under Volkswagen, the main sponsor of this event. I hope this is not robotized, so I can click on the slides and then just show me the slide I want. I will talk about smart mobility, and I hope there is an autonomous car or truck or bus from us driving you home safely. But a lot of things are happening with these cars. These are the members with whom I work every day. Some of them are in, these guys are in, for example, in Germany. They are in Sweden. We have two Volvo companies in Sweden, Volvo Group and Volvo Cars, separate, distinct companies. Göteborg, that's Paris. Same here, that's GLR. So Brexit is a prime subject and a key important subject for these guys as well. Ford, Hyundai, BMW in München, and some others, etc., etc. So they're all experiencing artificial intelligence. They're all massively investing into smart mobility. Not as a product, as we just mentioned, but as a service. Mobility as a service. Some of the brands have now apps that provide you with an, I would say, mobility service from point A to point B without necessarily promoting their own brand. So it's multi-brand. Last week I was invited by Commissioner Bulc, so the Commissioner of Transport, EU Commissioner, in Tallinn. There was a big conference on digitization of transport. We have 4 transport modes today. Road transport, we have the airborne, so waterways, we have the train, and we have the air. I hope I didn't forget any. There is no multimodality today. There is no app that allows you, from an official point of view, to go from the one to the other. There's no artificial intelligence in all this. So digitization of transport hitting our day-to-day mobility or unmobility. And Brussels is one of the less smart cities I've seen in the world. If you go to Tallinn, everything is digitized. If I was in Shanghai, everything is digitized. China, Beijing has still some work to do, but Singapore the same. So we still have some work to do. So to keep it short, so I skip the agenda. People tend to confuse two concepts. It's connected vehicles, connected whatever instruments, IoT, and automated driving. Connectivity is about peer-to-peer communication, device-to-device IoT, or IOV, Internet of Vehicles. It's a vehicle that will be able to communicate with another vehicle in a very low latency, meaning truck platooning is a good example. What is a truck platooning? You have 5 trucks. In the first truck there is a driver, physical driver. The second truck, third, and fourth, and fifth, there's actually a driver, but he can sleep. Because there is connectivity between the second, third, fourth, and the first. If the first breaks, the second will break immediately. It's not a human being that will break, it's a machine. So there will be a camera, or a lidar, or a sensor, plus a communication technology. In this case it would be Wi-Fi, G5 standard, which means that the truck will receive the signal from the other truck that he has to brake. This is going into milliseconds, not 1 second, milliseconds. That's why connectivity and telecom networks are increasingly important for us. That's also why ACEA has an alliance with European telecoms industry. Actually under the impulse of Mr. Oettinger, the previous digital company, the digital commissioner. He asked us to put ourselves together with the European industry of the telecommunications, which are the incumbent operators, the Proximus of this world, Telecom, Orange, or the alternative operators, the new entrants, they're not so new anymore, the competitors, and also the mobile industry, so GSMA, ECTA, Etno, etc. So we're now defining together how to see connectivity in the future. Tomorrow you will be able to have a card that allows you to find the best parking spots in the city. Instead of doing 10 times the same block, with all the problems of CO2, the problems of air pollution, your car will be sensing, feeling the free parking spot. He will be actually managing the parking space. We will Uberize the parking space. We will see if you have a parking spot available. And that's a simple example. We can go into e-commerce. We can go into commerce. We can become a postal delivery channel or a postal pickup channel. You can allow your car, while it's in the parking garage here, 2 hours, 3 hours even, while it's immobilized, you can say, well, deliver me the parcel, and that time slot, in the trunk of my car, I'll give you the code, because everything will be digitized, and you can just use it as a pickup or a drop-off. Just a simple example. Can you imagine the Internet of Things potential of driving cameras, LiDAR sensors, etc.? It's amazing. I've seen many use cases and proofs of concept where I was really amazed what is possible. Things that have nothing to do anymore with the car, the truck, or the bus. It's just because you're driving engines, driving captation instruments. I spare you all the legal parts that I have to do in my job on data protection, e-privacy, telecoms regulation, etc., etc. So that's about connectivity. It's car to car, or bus, truck to truck, and car to infrastructure. We will take over essential functions of the road authorities. The Flemish Road Authority, the Walloon or the Brussels, today they have to feel the temperature to see whether it's icy roads, whether the road is slippery. All this will become available, and I'm actually talking about now, not tomorrow, through the vehicle. They will sense and feel the streets, they will see where the street is a bit bumpy. We will actually send the signals to the government instead of the other way around. So it's car to infrastructure and car to whatever, I would say, automation vehicle. That's connectivity, that's IoT. The second is automation. Automation is about the levels of autonomy and autonomous driving that you have. And we have various levels in that. Sometimes you need connectivity. For example, if you have a car which is fully autonomous, okay? And this will be 2025, more or less. Fully autonomous, which means no driver. You can be a driver, but you don't have to drive. Whether you need a license, or the driver license, is another thing we still have to solve. Not only with the below, but at European level, with all countries. So the car will be there, you will be there, you can eat, you can drink, you can do whatever you want. But the car does not see the other side of the street. Well, he sees actually the other side of your street, but not the other side behind the corner. So you can be the most automated car in the world, but if you don't have connectivity to see and to feel what's happening around the corner, the car will still be in the traffic jam, saying that you were in the traffic jam. That's probably too late. It's the most frustrating thing I have here in the Brussels tunnels. Whether it's they mentioned file when you're in the file. So thank you. Huh? My car should have known it before, not me, but my car. So to predict the most optimal route that my car should take, or my bus, or my truck. And that is actually the City of London is doing that with buses. Empty buses are being routed to the most efficient place to pick up, we call it a vulnerable road users, so passengers. So that's a level of automation. Okay? So it's about vehicles see, sense, feel other vehicles. Vehicles see people, pedestrians. Vehicles see traffic lights. The most embarrassing situation you are in, if you're in front of the traffic lights, it's 11 o'clock in the evening, nobody is there, but it's red. Okay, and then you're there. CO2, pollution, production inefficiency, frustration, societal cost, external cost. A connected vehicle would say, hey guys, I'm here. Please put on the light on green. And by the way, there is another one. I know there will be another one in 500 meters. You don't see it, but I see it. I know it from connectivity. So we can signal that. If there is an ambulance, he can have priority lanes in Rue de la Loi or in Béliard, because he can actually dictate the lights for you. So that's connectivity with the IoT, the T being the traffic light at this point. Okay? That's just an example of how we think about this in the future. So the levels of automation and the robotization and artificialization is this. This is a European roadmap we've made with the whole industry, not only the car manufacturers, but also the upstream suppliers. This is level 0, the most dumb car you can ever have. You do everything. You think, you feel, you sense, you do everything. You're in full control. There, you don't have to think nothing because the car does, or the truck, the bus, he does everything for you. Today, we are more or less here, level 2. We have pilots going on with level 3, which means that there is a kind of takeover of the human-machine interface. So there is a human-machine interface which is intelligence. It's not so artificial yet. But it's a programmed unit, ECU, that does the work for you. It connects with others, it knows exactly what will happen when he goes too fast. When there is a truck and a car and somebody wants to insert in the lane, so the lane merge, the truck will automatically slow down, the other one will maybe go a bit faster, and the guy can come in between. This is collaborative, I would say, working together of Internet of Things in our industry. We're now piloting this with European Horizon 2020. So that's the levels upon which we have agreed with the engineers across the world. Now, our industry is obviously changing, that's why also they hired me. I'm coming from the telecoms industry, or more regulated industry. I would say smart mobility was not on the agenda of the big companies. Daimler in Stuttgart, BMW in München, Volvo cars and Volvo trucks in Gothenburg, GLR in the UK, they were not aware, but they were not involved in this whole smartization of traffic. 5 years ago, they were not talking to telecom companies, they were not talking to traffic operators, to road authorities. Today we have the European Alliance, where we discuss with the road authorities, which is the managers of the roads, the masters of the road, who are also digitizing their own roads. The asphalt is also being digitized in the future. There are loops today in the asphalt to see how many cars are passing by. Tomorrow they can, without these loops, they don't need it anymore because we're going to tell that to them. That's what we do with the Netherlands. They are a bit more advanced in mobility than our Rijkswaterstaat, for example. So it's disruption, like we heard, disrupting the disruptive. That's actually what's happening now. See, the number of people we are hiring that are not coming from the engineering background, not coming from the automotive background, robots background, they're coming from the telecoms and IoT industry. So actually it's not top-down, they're generating new ideas and new mobility ideas. Okay? So this brings me to the challenges with robotization, with intelligence and more artificial intelligence. I will not rediscuss the whole issues we have with air quality, and with, I would say, diesel versus petrol versus CNG. It's a discussion on itself, but if you have a bit more smartization of these things, if you have vehicles talking to infrastructure, talking to traffic lights, talking to other vehicles, you will gain 20%, at least 20% of productivity, of fluidity of traffic, and actually productivity of everyone. If we could talk to the trains, which is imagined in the future, or to the buses or other parts of the public transport, that will also massively increasing. There are studies going on to prove that. We do have enormous challenges. I'm not talking about the legal regulatory challenges. That's a one day on itself, Luc, so I will spare you that. I was 2 weeks ago with Interpol. You can say, what is Interpol doing with cars? Interpol in Lyon and in Singapore. Interpol Lyon has a forensic European cyber diagnostic center. It's amazing if you see there, well, if you can get there because it's highly protected. It's international police enforcement. They are extremely interested in data, in car-generated data. Unfortunately, we got some attacks done by trucks, one of them in Nice, some others in other countries, other cities. This was about trucks being not automated, but there was actually a driver in this who did suicide and had explosives in the trucks. Tomorrow, like drones, you will have autonomous driving trucks, autonomous driving cars, autonomous whatever, that you can pilot from outside. So if our ECUs, because cars are full of electronic components tomorrow, if they could be monitored, if it could be hacked, and with a trigger from outside, then we do have a major problem. You can actually paralyze the whole traffic system in the city, or redirect the whole system into a certain non-desired way. That's why the police enforcement is very interested to see what kind of data are we generating. Which brings me to the whole data economy discussion we have at the EU level. Who owns data? What kind of data? Is it the raw data? Is it personal data? And what can you do with this data? Okay? Who has access and who can use and reuse this data? We also have ethical questions. I didn't have a lot of things tonight from my colleague speakers, but there is a big challenge we have. If a car has to make a choice, who has programmed that choice? And who has actually put that dilemma into action? And that's a discussion we now have, amongst others, with the German Ministry, who has a European task force on it. We are part of that. What do we do with the protection of the citizen, protection of the individual? Who actually do we have to protect at the end? It's a very difficult, it's a binary question. It's yes or no. You can break, of course. If you see an animal or a child, you can break. Then you're immobilizing everything. So you need to do something. You need to make a choice. And that's a very difficult discussion, which we actually have right now. It's about liability. We got a discussion with the Commission on, and the Parliament, European Parliament, on should the current product liability directive change. The current directive says, basically, if you have a fault, if you have damage, and if there's a link between those two, then there is a link, causality, then you're damaged, you're liable, and you have to pay something. With the machine-generated driving, who is liable if something goes wrong? Is it the machinery? Is it the software? Is it the connectivity link, so the telecoms link, or the Wi-Fi link? Is it the driver, because he still is in charge? Is it the weather conditions? Is it the infrastructure? So who will determine? So we now have discussion at European level on, do we need a black box in the car? It's a bit easier said than done. And what kind of standardization do we have in all these events that will take place? Because it's thousands of events in a car. So that is a discussion, data protection, GDPR. I spare you the discussion we have on e-privacy with the Estonian presidency. This e-privacy draft is not fit for IoT. So it's a really stupid thing to ask me that they have invented this will not drive innovation in the EU. The Chinese guys, they don't care about anything on e-privacy. If you buy an electric car in China, you have to give all the data to the Chinese government, full stop. And they are running like hell. Like Japan as well, they're doing automation for Tokyo 2020, the Olympic Games. They will have fully autonomous driving available. Our European brands are still suffering with 28 different regimes in the European area. So that's why it makes a lot of special things. The European Parliament has done an interesting report. I invite you all to read it. It's legalese, but it's about robotics and also AI. How to deal with that in our civil code. Because civil code, droit civil, they didn't foresee that, of course, that machines would do some acts on behalf of you. So what we all need to do, what I already heard is, what is the risks but also benefits of this whole thing, and transportation as an ecosystem driver, next to telecoms. What are the limitations? Because sometimes you need to have the right to put it off. I have some questions that I received at the European Parliament last week. Will you have the right to be disconnected? Because everything will be so hyper-connected. Will the driver, the user, the consumer, have the right to still work in the analog world? Will you still have the paper invoice instead of the e-invoice? It's the same discussion. So, and what if you're disconnected? If you can afford a connected car, you will be better off in terms of mobility, in terms of productivity. So then you have this digital divide, which we got in other words. This discussion comes back in our work. Algorithms, we discussed it, of course. Automated driving and humans and self-driving vehicles, who will actually determine the interaction and the final decision. And then obviously a lot of legal questions, not only for our business, the drones have the same issues, even more accentuated. But these things are actually discussed now at the European Parliament, Council, and the Estonians, the most connected country from member state in the EU. So this being said, you can read all this intelligence, not from me, but from these papers. On our website, there's instructive movies, videos, and lobby material. This is not a lobby thing here. So be welcome, and then thank you for your attention. If any question, I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I learned a lot. Joost, that Brussels is a terrible smart city, isn't it?
True.
That there's connectivity important again. Telecoms operators are back in the business.
Yep.
The driverless cars will be here probably by 2025, although some are already here. I like the idea of intelligent traffic and traffic lights also, but I got one question. what we see in Belgium that we have every year more and more cars on the road, right? And whether they are electric or with gasoil or whether they are self-driving, we're always stuck in traffic. So what we need is less cars, right? Which is not against your association, of course. But when can we see really car as a service on this?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I think it's an excellent question because it's not about putting so much cars on the streets. We used to be in that business. And the company car regime in Belgium, which is unique in Europe, by the way, for salary reasons, that's another discussion we can have with the Belgian government, has nothing to do with selling cars, it has to do with optimization of the use of the cars. It's about possession against the use of the car. Most people have a company car, and they use it probably not in an optimal way. It stands in the garage, in a car park. You could Uberize your company car. Okay? That's why we embrace these models like BMW is doing in Brussels, like some others. It's car sharing, car riding, free floating, as Pascal Smet has enacted in Brussels. Because actually it will increase even the rotation of the cars. You will have more people in the same car. And I know in Wallonia there is a process of the Antonio, putting a dedicated lane for the co-workers, or the co-drivers. If you have 2 people in the car, you're allowed to go. I'm not preaching that you should go that far, but that's another democracy issue. So, but it's for democratization issue. But it's about more optimal use. That's why mobility as a service is the key word for us, and not the product itself. It's a service. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Joost Vantomme.